All right, guys, we're going to talk about this M6 just to kind of give you some background. I know a lot of you are probably new to the channel and are seeing this car for the first time. Many of my old subscribers will know this as my original. This was my first V10. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this car, but before I do that, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn notification on, because I'm going to be talking a lot about the M6 this summer, because although I've neglected it, and if you want to see how I've neglected this car, go ahead and click the card above, because I did a video on basically how I've abused it by not driving it. And if you know me, I drive my cars all the time. So go ahead and check that video out. But let's go ahead and tell you a little bit about this BMW M6. Well, it is a 2007 E64, because it's a cabriolet. E64M. Oh, well, you guys can't see it, but we've got a charger in front of us. You know, Mopar, America. So this BMW M6 2007, I am the original owner. If you remember about these cars, they're V10s. It was the first V10 from BMW in a while. They've had a history of making large engine, large displacements in the past. And if you are not familiar, all you have to do is look at the M1, and you can look at the McLaren F1 and see that they've had a history of making amazing engines. It's just BMW. On this car, we have a V10, as I said, but interestingly enough, the noise you're hearing is from an aftermarket exhaust. So this exhaust is an Eisenman race exhaust, and it dates back to about 2006. Actually, this, my very first video was a 6-second clip on my friend's M6 coupe at the time, and he had the first Eisenman race exhaust in the country. And I flew out to California on an overnight red-eye trip to take a look, record the first video, and post it on an M forum way back in the day. And so if you know my channel, I'm in one of the original automotive YouTubers. Kind of back then, I didn't post a ton, but it was you know, a way for us to communicate and share the videos. You guys are going to see this matte brown Charger. It'll be blowing by us again, doing Mopar things. Here it is. And there you have it. All right. Anyway, so there was also another exhaust that had just come out by Eisenman. It was called the Meisterschaft. And if you're German, it sounds terrible. It sounds like a deviant sexual act. But having said that, and I don't know how the Germans would say it, Meisterschaft or whatever, probably something way worse than that. Anyway, but that was a really loud exhaust, and I wanted something that was going to be fun, I could drive around and not be completely end up with my ears bleeding when I got out of the car, or drone. No, this exhaust does not have a drone at all with droning, which is pretty awesome. And it was the right combination. Meisterschaft is just so loud. It's a great exhaust, but it was just too loud for me. So I got this exhaust. Also I did was got the oval tips, which was kind of like almost AMG style. And that was one of the criticisms. Some people didn't like it, but if you look at the back of the M6, you'll see that these oval exhausts fills out the exhaust exit area really well, much better than the round exhaust. And I actually have no regrets about choosing that. The other things, that's really sort of the only performance change, the modification I've made on this car. And people will say, oh, the exhaust don't give you any performance enhancement? Maybe. I mean, on paper, you'd probably see with this exhaust, I think it was like 5 to 7. I don't know if I would say you could feel that, but you know, be that as it may, I think it just sounds so much better than the stock exhaust, and so I'm happy I did that. People have asked me about stroking the engine, you know, boring it out, and I just think that's too much. I love this engine the way it is. It is an SMG 3 rather than the manual, which are very few coupes in the manuals, and the manuals didn't come until a little bit later. Anybody who has them will tell you that the manuals, since the engine wasn't designed around it, is not as good. But I mean, people want to be more engaged and they don't want necessarily a slush box. Okay, go ahead and get the manual. I like this SMG. It was the forerunner, frankly, of, you know, before we got dual clutches and so on. So still gotta love this gearbox and engine combination. I personally like it and wouldn't change it. I've done a bunch of other cosmetic things to the car, and you'll see around it. I've kind of commented on it in a couple of other videos. Oh, sounds so good. Commented on a couple of videos. I've upgraded some carbon fiber pieces, like the steering wheel is now carbon fiber, it's not stock. But lots of other components in the car, as you see around, are in fact stock carbon fiber. That entire center console, the iDrive surround is an aftermarket piece. The mirror caps are aftermarket piece. And the part that I think that really sort of gives this car quite a bit more of an aggressive look are the AC Schnitzer, again, German. It was one of the first kits for the M6 from AC Schnitzer, this German aftermarket manufacturer that you see on up the front, the splitter in the front and the spoiler in the back. They are full carbon fiber. The one thing I regret about having done is the spoiler, since it's full carbon fiber, I could have left portions of the carbon fiber, particularly on the top part, exposed, but I didn't. I just had them painted to match the body color. In retrospect, that would have been nice to have a little bit of carbon fiber on the back of the car, because you have carbon fiber on the front, you have carbon fiber inside and outside. I think there's now a kit to do some carbon fiber on the rocker panels. That may be something to consider. So that really sort of rounds out all of the modifications that I've done on the car. Things that I'm thinking about, new wheels. Now I have an early set of carbon fiber wheels. This car can accommodate, believe it or not, 22-inch wheels. And I have a set of 360 forged tires that I haven't put on in a while. I probably won't put them on because there's literally, the tires are rubber bands. There's nothing, and the car rides really weird. So I probably won't do that. But I'm thinking about maybe a new set of wheels for this car. So that may be something to consider. And the one thing, it is my only car that does not have PPF, so I want to clean it up a little bit. There are a couple of areas on the splitter that probably needs to be repainted. And then I'll probably do PPF. So that's later this year, I think. But yeah, that's really it. Wanted to introduce the silver bullet, the silver slider to you, the M6. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about BMW's V10 and the fact that we are moving away from large displacement, naturally aspirated engines to hybrids and fully electric cars. So this is a keeper. It's going to be with me for a while. If you have ideas on videos you want me to make with this car, let me know. Oh, I forgot. There's one other thing I want to do. The MMI, everybody knows with iDrive, is a pain in the butt. There is now a new aftermarket system that still uses the MMI system, but gives us CarPlay. And I am thinking about modifying the car and putting that in. The only problem I always have with those is, you know, you start getting electrical gremlins, and this is a car I intend to keep for a long time. Do I want to start playing with the electric components and kind of screw things up. I don't know, but I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are, your recommendations. If you've done things like that, let me know, and we'll see. But anyway, that's going to bring this video to an end. I want to thank you guys so much for going with us. I hope you enjoyed the music from the M6, the music of my people. I'm caught behind a bus. But on that note, I want to thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. And now,